I feel like I'm a little bright. I feel like I'm boom hard light on my face. You know what's crazy is this jersey legit felt like it used to hang off me, and now it's really just hanging on me. Like it's just bunched up right here. It's kind of holy smokes, buddy. You need to do something. Your
Uh,
mom ever tell you you're fat?
All the time.
My mom's the most honest person I know in my life. She'll straight up come up to me and be like, "What the? Stop eating." She'll just stop feeding me. She's like, "Bus, wo kha liya."
Until they ho
I
gaya.
was like, "What the fuck?" And she'll straight up say like, "Where did they call that?" I was like,
They always people hit टिड कर दे होया. Aagi ho
but I'm
gaya.
like, look, I got
yeah.
2 kids now. I got 2 kids. Allow it, right?
Yeah, we don't get
Dad
the pass that
bods.
like the uncles got, man. We don't get that pass.
Uncles had it really easy, man.
That's a
Yeah, no one
you could write
gave a shit if they got
you could
fat.
write a book, man. You could write a book.
On
They didn't
Uncle
have to change
Life.
diapers either.
Yeah, they were like, they were like, we never even learned how to change a diaper. I'm like, brother, it's not that hard.
I remember when I went out with my dad and his friends a few months after Sarah was born.
Yeah.
He's like, the father's it's good, it's good. They're doing things differently. Like Ranjit, he'll change his kid's diaper, and they're all like, oh, oh.
You were a sideshow for
Like what a
changing your
punk.
kid's diaper.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about? It's about nothing. It's about nothing.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
Let's do the
Yo,
intro. I want to do the intro. All right,
what intro?
we're doing an intro, but I'm gonna do it my way now.
All right.
All right, everybody, say hello
Hello.
to one of our
You, s-
hosts,
you see, this guy went straight desi. Like he put the hand
Dr.
up, like
Rob.
I am here.
I got Dr. Rob up here. Dr. Rob, say hello. How's it going? Where you at? How are things where you are?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. All easy. How about you, Shinde? That jersey, extra medium jersey on you. What's up?
Mediums.
What's up?
I swear to
What's your
God, I
night
feel like
like?
this is an extra large freaking jersey too. You guys are just adding insult. Like if it was a large, I'd take the like extra medium joke.
Yeah,
But this is just
you
hurting my
look
ego
pretty pleased
now.
right now, though. The way you have your arms, though. That's the flex.
So
He's like,
that's the
Yeah,
flex, right?
that's the flex.
You just
That's the
gotta
flex. Yeah.
like you know how girls do this to like accentuate their chest. I do this to accentuate my arms.
no, it's accentuating your chest as well.
Okay then. Let's- guys are freaking straight shaming me, man. I'm in a dark place right now. I'm sorry.
It was really weird for me too. I was like, do I talk about motorboating?
Why are we going there, man? Oh, shit.
Uh,
I'll never be able to
anyway,
look at myself in the mirror again.
yeah, I know. Fair.
Holy smokes.
Body shaming is what we're all about. And
Why?
everybody, I'm your last host, Ranjit.
I'm the host with the mostest.
And boys, my hat's coming out purple, right? It's
Yeah,
black,
it's
I swear.
100% purple. Yo, your camera's messed up. This is what you get when you buy a $30 Amazon camera. It doesn't even do colors right.
You know what? It looks fine. I wish I had a purple hat like this.
Low key, the Raptors hat in purple looks pretty good.
It's pretty sick, right? Yeah.
I think you're like discovering straight PR for them. Yo, before we get started, I had a thing I wanted to get off my chest. Bel Air. This was nagging me because you, huh?
Yeah, go for it, man.
I just need to get this off my chest, all right? Let's just sit up for this. This is serious.
Are you
Another
talking
show.
about the show?
Yeah, we've all watched
Are
it.
you going right
Or
into
we're
it?
all up to
Because
date.
you're doing what you did last week again, where you didn't
Look,
tell.
Are you gonna spoil anything? You're just gonna
No,
talk about the show overall.
no. This is gonna. I mean, look. There's no. The show doesn't have any spoilers because it's based off the sitcom from
It's
the
fresh good.
'90s,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not trying to skip your show notes. I see that. I just want to open with this, and then we'll go back to doing things properly. Let me get this off my chest before I forget what I wanted to say. The best
Quite the chest.
character adaptation was Jeffrey.
What?
The best new character adaptation was Jeffrey. Like reimagined. I like this Jeffrey way more than I did
Oh,
the
okay,
original.
fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
The
I mean-
worst character adaptation
Hold
was
on.
Carlton.
Why are we talking? Why are we talking about this right now? I'm so
No,
confused.
just shut the fuck up. Listen. Okay? Carlton is by far one of the worst adaptations of a character. Holy. But Carlton, right? So
He's just trying to get all in there before that fucking jersey's buttons fly off. And he has to shut the podcast
Look,
down.
if we only have one segment recorded for this podcast, it's going to be this one. Carlton was by far the most annoying character adaptation.
Yeah.
They
I
had him
kind of like
mixed.
that. I like he's evil. I kind of like that.
Yeah, they made him less nerdy and more like they kept the nerdy aspects to him, but they kept him kind of like
He's an
sinister.
annoying rich kid.
Snobby,
He's
pretentious.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I don't know. I feel like they didn't do his character as much justice because in the sitcom, Carlton was very much I look up to Will. In this show, he's very much I hate Will.
Yeah, so far, but they're laying the foundation for a character arc. Come on.
But I don't think the show goes that far. I think it's a one-off series. Like it's not going to be something that goes on for multiple seasons because they're throwing in every single Easter egg they can from across the show's timeline.
But are you not entertained?
Okay, so that's another thing. Am I entertained? I don't think it's a top 10 show. You big that show up like, yo, this is one of the best shows.
Yo, there's
someone else
nothing
told
else
me
on TV. There's nothing else.
Yellowstone.
On TV. It's already finished.
Yeah, it's done. 1833 is done too. It kind of sucked, but it was
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
So you're talking about like news. I'm not talking about go and watch a season, 10 seasons of it.
like Marvelous
That's
Miss Maisel. Have you guys seen
I
Marvelous Miss
have,
Maisel?
and I've been watching
Great.
it and see the last
What are you
two
guys talking
seasons
about?
have sucked.
The
Last
last
2 seasons have sucked. Two
Loki,
seasons sucked.
the last episode sucked. This season's been kind of a bore so far. Two
This
episodes
season's
in,
pretty shit too. I'm
two
just letting you know.
episodes in, not feeling it.
Current
Bel
TV
Air
shows,
is
current, ongoing.
Well, I thought Uncle Phil was a good adaptation, man.
Uncle Phil
I
was
like-
cool, man.
I like Uncle Phil. I like how they're trying to keep him. I don't mind Uncle Phil. Jeffrey, by far, I love the friggin' house
Yeah, but
manager,
it's
not
weird.
butler.
It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. First of all, I don't know what kind of lawyer you have to be to make that kind of money to have that kind of house in Bel Air.
Someone
It's
who
kind of
doesn't.
weird.
You just have to do one
So you're
class
saying
action.
lawyers don't make that much money?
Yeah, like
Didn't you?
that,
No, they justified it. He did
billionaire
a class
money.
action. He did a class action.
that's
some
billionaire
crazy
money.
class
That's
action.
billionaire money out there. Okay.
He made 100 million in a class action, and his
That's
wife's
not-
an
that's-
artist.
No, she's not. She's a professor at a.
No,
local
she's now a professor.
university.
She's a former famous artist who retired and became a professor too.
Yeah, I still don't think they're billionaires.
Someone's watching this. You were taking
Right?
notes, eh?
I like.
And then-
I like
and then-
Hillary. I like Hillary. She's a good adaptation of what that character would be in modern age with as an influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is that show took a lot of things that. So one of the criticisms of the original Fresh Prince was they whitewashed a lot of the characters. Like they made Aunt Vivian light skin. Eventually, in the thing, Hillary was light skin, and they kind of said, "No, we're not going to do that route. We're going to celebrate people's blackness in this show," which is cool.
That was a criticism. Okay.
No, it was a criticism of the original sitcom, and it's cool that these guys went the opposite direction with that. Uncle Phil's cool. I actually like his. There's a little bit more to him, I think.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. But he also doesn't have like that fatherly warmth that the original Uncle Phil had. Because this guy seems
Man,
really young.
But it's good.
I just
Right.
don't. I don't understand Jeffrey though. Like, is Jeffrey like
I think
Jeffrey's
he's like a
a
gangster.
bad man from Jamaica, right? This guy got
I think he's like a
that other
gangster,
gangster killed. Jeffrey's a guy that gets shit done for the family and protects the family.
So he's his henchman on
He's-
salary.
Yeah.
He's the house manager who just makes sure things that the family's
Yeah,
protected
Shinda,
and insulated.
As much as you hate this show, you sound like you're loving it.
He does love it. He
Yeah.
just wants to punch.
No,
Carlton
I don't
in the
like
face.
Carlton. I don't like Carlton. I thought
But
they did a
that's-
bad
that's the
job with
point.
Carlton.
You don't hate him?
Carlton, I do kind of hate him.
Yeah,
don't
but
think
that's,
we're supposed to hate
that's the
him.
point of his
That's the
character.
point.
You're supposed
I
to
don't
hate
think
him.
that is. No, I don't think we. So I don't think we should hate him based on the sitcom.
Yeah,
I think
so,
Carlton
like,
should
we're
be a
not-
little bit more likable.
He's the Joffrey of this fucking series. You're supposed to hate him. You're supposed to see him in the street in real life and say, "Hey, bro, great acting. I want to punch you in the face."
And I don't know why they made him a coke or Xanax addict. Pretty sure
That
he's
doesn't
doing
make any
coke.
sense. It's coke.
Like I know,
It's cocaine.
I know it's.
It's cute that you actually bought his excuse. That was really cute.
Xanax.
He always really wants the show. This is hilarious.
No, but like I know he had like a bit of a problem in the sitcom for one episode. They straight up have this guy doing lines. I was like, okay, I guess this is the modern day Carlton who just does lines.
What I like that it's not the original show.
I like that it's
Like I
not
like
like
that,
I
and I think it's cool to see a show
You know,
of the
but
black family, and that it's cool.
you see some weird glimpses, like the kid who plays Will Smith. He does
Yeah,
that patented Will Smith cry where
yeah,
his eyes are open and they're just like
yeah.
streaming down. And he,
Even his buddy that he brought along, Trey or whatever it
yeah,
is.
look just like
That kid looks like Don Cheadle. Because in
yeah.
the show it was Don Cheadle who was his
oh,
friend, and you look at it, you're like, my God, it's like
They
literally they just got a carbon copy, right?
Jazz
So
is the best
cool.
adaptation, man.
Jazz,
they
yeah, Jazz was good
Jazz
too.
is
I like
legit.
Jazz was a good adaptation. I like that. No,
Yeah.
and they did do, and even like the Will Smith character, they kind of he studied Will Smith's like mannerisms a bit, like the way he walks or like when he like laughs and stuff. I'm like, yo, he's trying to mimic Will Smith's kind of he's trying to mimic Will Smith from Fresh Prince. Uh, I don't know. So I do like the show. I don't love the show. I don't think it's a top 10 show. I don't think it's a historic. This show is going to be something that's around.
Okay, so
And
I don't say top 10 show of all time.
you bigged it
I
up.
think
Actually, someone else bigged it up to me too. They're like, yo, honestly, this
I
is one of the
said
greatest shows
it's the
ever.
best shows on TV. TV meaning ongoing season.
I
For
think
me.
we have a
Yes.
recording of you dropping it. You were like, guys, Bel Air, you
Yeah, go ahead.
gotta watch it.
Yeah, you
You
gotta watch it.
gotta watch it.
Like, I will
Eh.
continue to watch it, and when a new episode comes out, I'll make sure I watch it. I like it more than Mandalorian. I'll say that much. Way
Like
better than
I'm loving
Mandalorian.
I like Billions, but
I like
Billions has been going on
Billions.
for a while. It's not a new show,
No,
Yeah.
no.
but,
But yo,
Billions is up there.
look, I'll say this much that Bel Air is better than Boba Fett by a lot.
I don't agree with that.
Well,
Let's
you're
just-
stupid.
Let's just change topics now because now you're gonna be the Bundler of the week.
Fuck, it's not. I think the shirt's cutting the blood off to his head.
Yeah.
That's what's
You
happening. He's
guys
not
are
thinking
fucking-
straight.
All right. Ukraine Nazis. Hold on. That's an interesting way
Yeah,
to phrase that title.
Let's
Man, this guy's just
let's segue.
just butchering, man. Yeah, take the shirt off. I really think it's cutting the oxygen. Ain't no
All
flow
right.
in your system, so there's no flow to the podcast now.
Randy, you want to talk about this?
Yeah. So let's just catch up with what's going on, and then we can dive into what we want to get to. Ukraine is still fucking fighting back. These guys are giving their Ruskies, a pounding, a 1-2 bloody nose, and they're not relenting either. I guess like Putin is, all in. He can't. He has too much basty. If he goes down, he's getting sanctioned as fuck. Up to yayo. Apparently, Russia doesn't have the capital to sustain this pressure for much longer because of the economic sanctions. And now
believe
people are
that?
speaking out. People are speaking out from the Kremlin now. These anonymous sources. When that starts happening, then I think it's breadcrumbs or it's like the warning or before something happens, before the cookie crumbles. There's a better euphemism, but it's not coming to mind right now. Anyways, so we have all this happening, and then the whole world is feeling so sad and bad and supportive of Ukraine, but then there's an ugly underbelly of Ukraine that's starting to come out as well, and then you're kind of just like, well,
I'm
fuck
going to just
Ukraine,
play this video here.
or
This is like,
or no, but yeah, play it.
so I don't know if you guys see this. This is like the black African students trying to get on a train, and you see the Ukrainian guard there, like locking them and saying, "Nah, not you." And then the Ukrainians were trying to sell this as no, it was the men weren't allowed on the trains, only women and children. And these are like, no, you guys didn't even let the women and children on. Stop this bullshit. And as you see while they're panning through the crowd, you see some kids in there, and you see some women. So yeah, that's one of the weird things that's going on right now. So it's not just African international students, Punjabis, Indians. They were similar fates, not able to get on trains, and eventually they got to Poland. Somehow, like they just struggled. They did what they had to do to get to Poland. They get to Poland, and then they wouldn't let them into Poland. Was their panga there? Then after they get into Poland, friggin' Poland's white nationalists start beating the shit out of these guys. So there's this weird.
Are we surprised? Like,
Nah.
if you know that part of the if you know that part of the world really well,
Yeah, you know that those
other
attitudes,
places in
they're
Europe,
doing
like
Chile as professional
Hungary,
soccer players.
these places are kind of known to.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
Isn't
They
it?
legit
there's a
they cheer for their team, their soccer team, and their
and
best
like they
player could be a
remember they've
gala.
had
They'll
a
throw kele at him and be like,
and they've had
it's
a surge
crazy.
of refugees over the last few years, obviously with the Syrian conflict.
Mm.
So they're not like, you know, open arms kind of thing. This is kind of built up, and they have a anger. So
But that's one of the weird
I'm
things
not.
about this whole thing,
It
right?
sucks, but I'm not surprised. I mean, what do
So
you think
like,
was gonna happen?
so like Putin used the term denazification of Ukraine. That was his like thing to go in, right?
Yeah, that was an excuse. And then before I was like, what is he talking about?
At first, I
But
was
there's
kind of
some
like, "What is he
basis.
talking about?"
There is
But
some basis.
yeah, now I'm kind of like, "Hold on, let me look into this a little bit." And the more I look into it, the more I'm like, Ukraine really does have a racist underbelly, where they have like Americans and like white nationalists in Canada and America going to Ukraine to train. They have a regiment there that's openly white nationalist, and they have a white nationalist party there that is has a seat in the parliament. Like if imagine some, I don't know if PPC is even comparable because PPC is kind of there, but PPC is more right wing crack than it is like white nationalist party, right? These guys got like
Yeah. So like just echoing on that, man, or building off of that. I at first I thought, yo, what's this denazification bullshit excuse Putin is using, right? But they're exactly, you nailed it. They have this white nationalist party that is openly sympathetic to like Nazis, but then it's hard to reconcile that with a huge Jewish population in that country that has a Jewish president. So, I mean, I won't go. I won't grant or give any credit to Putin saying he has to denazificate the country. I mean, if he has to do that, then Canada has Nazi sympathizers too. Although I do believe in Ukraine they have more of a stronghold, where they are in parliament. They have some elected officials. PPC, which is probably the closest thing to that, is not going to get a member in parliament anytime soon.
and then well, as another thing that kind of surprised me was the
But the
Ukrainian military tweets. They're tweeting out like join the military and stuff, and the people that and some of the pictures have those regiments
The
and
badges.
those
Yeah,
groups
you got the
badges
badges.
yeah,
representing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
But yo,
and someone was telling me they're like, well, all countries have their white nationalist problem and Nazi problem. I'm like, yeah, but can the Canadian Armed Forces aren't putting out tweets with the Proud Boys saying join the military?
yeah, but like they got someone handling their Twitter account right now, right? So that's why I don't think the Canadian military's, you know, so open as the rest of Canadian society. It's still, an institution that's in change. But I want to touch back on that African Indian student thing.
Yeah.
So, first of all, if you go on Snapchat, I don't know if you guys have done this, but like I do this. Is
Oh,
kind
you
of
go to the
similar.
country?
I go to the country. I did it in Afghanistan. Like I was like on it every day during that conflict, just to see like what's happening. And then even now with Ukraine, I'll go to like Kiev, Sumy, Kherson, all these like cities under siege, and there's so many Desi kids there. Like Uncut
International
is like
students are everywhere,
Snapchatting.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hold on, are they still like Snapchatting though,
Yeah, they're
or is it kind of like
Snapchatting. Is
no,
it
like regular
Snapchatting?
Snapchatting? Like, are they still doing like?
This guy is literally sitting in like the train station. He's like day 4 in Ukraine, born to part. That's what his snap was. I was like crazy. Oh my god! But yo, these guys eventually, like everybody in the country, is trying to go out west to Lviv, and from Lviv make the walk to Poland, because usually by Lviv you run out of gas, um, and that country is tight on gas right now. So Indian students were getting to the border, and the Ukrainians weren't letting them into Poland, Romania, Moldova because they're like, "Fuck!" Like India supported Russia in the UN
Russia, yeah.
vote. Like, fuck you, stay. We're not gonna help you guys out, right? And I just thought there were just 3 countries that abstained. India abstained, which is basically in UN terms supporting another country. But yo, there's 35 countries that abstain, not just 3, and they're all in Africa, all of them.
Oh,
So you
I
think
didn't know this.
that's where this is coming from?
Dude, I mean, let's say, I mean, no. There's for sure racism,
Yeah, there's
but
racism.
racism is here. If whoever's listening, I have a hand plateau. Then building on top of that, you give these people with some racist undertones maybe somewhat of some more bile against you for fucking abstaining and supporting Russia, your invaders. Well, then fuck you. I'm not helping you. You're gonna go last. I'm gonna take
And
your
that's
shit
literally
too,
what
and you're gonna
happened.
go last.
They put these guys at the bottom of that line, right? Like the back of the
Yeah,
line. Even
that's
the South,
exactly it.
they got so bad for the African students, where the South Asian students said, "Look, we had it bad, they got it worse." Like that's literally what they said. They like
But I wonder if it's, I wonder if there was any kind of like Indian or African Ukrainian national that actually holds a Ukrainian passport that got through. Like that would be the story I want to know. Like, did they get through? And if they got through, and their family, then clearly it was a passport thing. They were holding people's passports and say you have an Indian passport, you can't go. Right? Then it becomes nationality more so than racism, doesn't it?
I think
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they
Like,
just look at your skin and be like, "You're fucking Indian, your country."
no, no,
They'll
but
still say it's your country,
yeah, fair enough, yeah. But
right?
I'm just saying, like, if the question is that was that one of the reasons they stopped the Indian students because India obviously supported Russia to the gas or oil demands. Um, that's where I was interested. I'm like, did anyone else get through? Was there any kind of
Yeah,
Punjabi Ukrainian that's like, no, I got through, I'm good,
yeah.
right? Like,
No,
they didn't bother me.
not
I
that
don't
I
That
know.
would be
know of.
that.
'Cause, I mean, I
It
like.
would have been out there. I'm interested, right?
Here's another thing that kind of threw me off, and it's all related to that. Is so their national parties are whatever, right? Christia, whatever. I always thought it was Christina,
Christina. It's
but her
Christina.
name's Chrystia Freeland, our deputy prime minister. Deputy prime minister. She's second in charge next to Mr. Blackface. She's posing at the Ukrainian, like this Ukrainian solidarity marches, holding the flag of one of the nationalist parties. And apparently her grandfather was a Nazi sympathizer or something.
So was it? Yeah, not her father's. I think it's
Not
her
her father, her
grandfather, right?
grandfather, and her
Yeah.
uncle is part of like the nationalist party. I don't know. There's like some old thing there, but the fact that
Story,
she's
right?
at the protest and they took this picture and then she deleted the tweet because obviously she didn't see the tweet before it went up. Her assistant did it. Someone caught it and said, "Look, that's not a good look." The tweet got a hell of likes.
I
Um,
saw. I saw. To be fair, Shinde,
I got it at 4.
to be
Yeah.
fair, all right. She was just standing behind a banner. I don't think she's holding a agenda or some shit like that, right?
No, but then she took the same picture with without the banner with the same people around her. She noticed, said, "Yo, hide it, put it away," and took the picture again. She's backed by the Ukrainian Congress, Canadian Congress, who has
The
a parallel
Jewish.
tie. No, not the Jewish Congress.
Uh,
The
uh.
Canadian Congress is
So
like
that's the White Nationalist Party.
no, there's not a white nationalist party. They're linked back to the UPA. Like they have some weird history with like being in favor of not so favorable people back in Ukraine. It's kind of like the equivalent of like being associated with a Sikh organization here who might and saying Khalistan is the wrong thing because of what they represent versus and stuff. But it's what white people would understand as yeah, we don't really like that group that wants separatists. Like it's just weird that a high-ranking politician is sympathetic. And you know what's even more weird though is anytime people talk about this or try to talk about this, is everyone was like, "No, that's Russian disinformation. That's a Photoshop picture." Everything's Russian disinfo
Oh, really?
when you start
Is
looking at Ukraine with a bit of a critical light. That's Russian propaganda. You guys are falling for the Russian propaganda.
but to be fair, there's a lot of fuck. I hate that phrase now. There's a lot of misinformation going back and forth. I'm actually our guest from last week was sending me videos of Russian soldiers. I ate that one in Ukraine fighting, and it's literally like a guy's like this posing as they're like
Yeah.
bombing shit. And it's like cool explosion, cool explosion. So like it's like a mixtape actually. What he sent me? It looks like Russian soldiers having fun there. But
Like you had one mixtapes back
yeah,
then.
yeah, exactly. It's got like rock and roll. It's the Eye of the Tiger, man. This is this thing in the background.
I guess where do you guys stand now? Now that we've had like a week of this conflict going, or
Ooh.
maybe a little bit more. Do you still like when we started this? We all said Team Ukraine, kind of unanimously. Are you still Team Ukraine after?
Any invasion like that? Wasn't the nuclear power plant on fire last night?
Yeah, it
Russia
wasn't
took
a big
control
deal.
of it.
Twitter?
Russia
Yeah, they
took
took
control of
over.
it. Yeah.
Control. Let's say, if they really wanted to, it's escalating to a point where it doesn't need to. And who wants war? So you're always going to side with Ukraine, right? Because Russia is the aggressor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Russia is the aggressor. Russia is the bad guy in this.
I'm still
And so,
Team Ukraine.
yeah.
Because as fucking entertaining as all this is, or maybe I'm just sick fucking asshole, and I'm watching all these war videos of Call of Duty in real life, but people are dying, so and Russia didn't need to do this. There's other ways to exert your influence.
Power move by the Ukrainians. Did you guys see how they were holding the hostages, Russian hostages, letting those boys call their moms? And then they're
Apparently, that's
So-
misinformation.
Hold on. So that's
Yeah.
another thing. So in
Yeah.
my
That's
mind,
crazy. Seriously?
look.
Yeah.
So
I
in my
thought it was
mind,
hilarious. Come get your boys. You can come pick them up yourself. I'm like,
so I think that stuff is NATO propaganda, right? And that's another thing that bothers me about this war, is the West is on Ukraine's side, obviously, right? They're really trying to paint this as a good versus bad. It's Ukraine and the West versus the bad in Russia. But really, in my mind, I'm like, it's a lot of gray area in between. And at this point, I'm kind of like, I don't want to get involved. I'm just like, hands up. I hope people, the civilians and people who have really no skin in the game, I don't think people deserve this. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, listen, man, I think y'all are a little.
It's like
This-
a Punjabi drama, man. It's two cousins who fucking share Jameen, and one cousin moved the butt.
Yeah.
10,
And he's
10
trying to
people
sell.
over to the other guy's
That's
side.
what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Jameen Dab there,
Yeah, he just moved
I'm
the butt
just-
over, and that's it. Now
Yeah,
there's
that's
like
just
a hell of
mine, that's it.
Yeah,
And then,
that's
yeah,
all it
so.
is.
But I don't know. For me,
Ukraine's
kind of.
Ukraine's the younger brother.
Yeah.
Ukraine's the younger brother.
Yeah,
And I'm not trying to hold this against the people, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, look, man, you guys sort it out. That I'm like, I don't even know no more.
So if we're going on,
But I mean, did Russia release their? Didn't Russia actually release some casualties in the numbers of 1,000? No, was it 1,000 or 500 or something like that?
so Ukraine,
Russia. This was straight from Russia.
So Ukraine
Yeah.
saying we killed 5,000.
Yeah.
Russia saying that they only lost about 500. And the West
still,
is saying
500 is a lot.
the West is saying 2,000. Yo, 2,000 is
That's a lot.
what U.S.
That's a lot of
lost in
people.
Afghanistan in over 20 years. So
That's
a lot.
Yeah, but you know what? I also think there's a change in mentality. I think maybe the thing that Putin didn't. I know who the fuck am I? I don't know. I'm just saying. It looks like if the stories are true about these conscripts being very young, it's a different generation than the KGB soldiers that he was used to from back in the days, or the Soviet soldiers, cut from a different cloth, right?
Here's
Are they
another
willing to
thing.
fight? In the reports, they're saying that like some of them have been reluctant to shell civilian areas, and there's been a lot of miscommunication. And
talk about
so
like
on and so
the
forth.
low morale with the Russian troops for sure.
Yeah, right. Like they thought it was a training mission or whatever it might be, but that is that
I
And
do
it's
find that
easy-
low morale thing. I do think
Yeah.
there's truth to that low morale thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I've been seeing with regards to like the Russian tanks running out of gas, there's supply chains. There's an element of unpreparedness or lack of experience that's kind of really coming out. Some people are like, look, if you're taking a look at some of the Russian artillery and vehicles that get stuck in the mud and stuff, they're like, that vehicle shouldn't get stuck in the mud unless it wasn't like upkept. And they're like those so they're like, these things have been like sitting in the fields in Russia. People haven't really been maintaining them. They don't know what they're doing with some of this stuff.
I sent you guys that video this week where the guys were just putting on the tractors and just taking away the
Yeah,
tanks.
Yeah, taking over
They
the
weren't working. I'm
yeah.
like, look at these jocks.
Yeah, there's definitely this sense of, oh, there goes Robbie talking about drugs
Inactivity.
inactivity. But there's definitely been this feeling of unpreparedness, and it kind of feels like amateur hour from everything we've heard about like Russian forces.
Yeah, and this feels different. And to be honest, this ties into another point that we're gonna talk about today.
Your thing just kicked me out. And
Yeah.
didn't give me, what's going on?
I didn't
No
do
one-
nothing, man. You just disappeared in the middle
I
of.
felt that was some of that anger from that tight shirt talk.
No,
he was
man,
doing.
I feel like this was a sys ops.
Wait to kick this guy out.
It was like CSIS thing ops.
But
They just saw you talking bad, and they're like, "Get this guy out of here before he says something."
I mean, we touched upon like, are we Team Ukraine or Team Russia, and like, I guess the sentiment still is more or less we're not gonna go with the aggressor, but this war feels different, and I think, I'm gonna put it to you guys. I think this is different than Iraq, Afghanistan, and Yemen, and all these conflicts that people are saying, or even like Israel, Palestine. I see it all over my feed.
Yeah, you know why
People are
it's
like,
different? It's white v white.
No, no, I agree with you. It's different.
it's
I'm on
fucking
your.
100%
I'm
different.
on that view.
It's not a fair
Yeah.
fucking comparison. It's pretty actually fucking stupid.
So let's say Afghanistan. What are we going in to fight? Who are they
Exactly.
fighting? Who are
Fucking
they fighting?
some fucking goat herders,
Okay,
and then who
whatever
get
it is.
caught up with Taliban. Like that's the
And I
casualty
think
or
the
collateral
eventuality
Or
is
they're not fighting against rebels; they're actually going up against another military. So it's like,
a military, right? And then let's say they do take over Ukraine, then what's next? Well, guess who the next fight's with? It's us. So there's a different, like, a world changing dynamic.
Is-
Yeah, people do not care about those countries, and that's a sad truth, right? But
yeah, the
it's a
reporting the
different, it's
reporting's
different.
pretty fucked up. Like, I agree, the
Yeah, the
reporting's pretty fucked up. We're
civilized and
like, this is
non-civilized.
Europe. Like, fuck you.
It's a civilized country.
But it's a little different because, like, man, I've been telling you guys openly, I've been sucked into this. I'm following Ukrainian soldiers who are like live showing, their GoPro footage and putting it up on fucking the internet. Like, I'm so dialed in, and I'm thinking, like, why? Like, I wasn't that dialed in, with Iraq, Afghanistan, or Yemen. Like, I don't give a
but
fuck.
is it also because the
Like,
media
if you
and the
watch those
attention on this
videos,
is just so much
no,
higher?
because this is different, man. This is exactly, Robbie nailed it. This is two armies going at it. When the fuck have we seen that? Okay. Plus, like, I'm gonna say it, Europe looks much closer to North America. I can imagine if some country's gonna roll up into Brampton tomorrow, or Toronto, like, what position will we take? Where we hold up? What would our reserves do? What would we do?
Agreed. So I think there's two elements. I mean the whole on Twitter and on social media, Instagram, is about, the minute this started, there was also this, oh, but it's white people. That's why all this attention is. Let's split it into two. One from the aspect of war, right? So this is a different war. Two armies. Who are the opposing sides? What's the conflict? Now, there's another side to it, like the evacuation of refugees and how that's treated. That's a different element. Yes, we can argue that, for example, they said they're going to open up the refugee um, the applications or acceptances from the Ukraine, but yeah, when that
Ah,
stuff was going on in Afghanistan, that was like, what are you guys doing? So I agree
Yeah,
with
they're
that.
pretty slow. Yeah.
well, part of that was also
There's
like
a side to that,
there was
right?
also
But
this
that has
whole
nothing
thing
to.
with
But that's not war. Let's just talk about the war itself. The war is different, right? Now the reaction and how the governments and how the West responds, yeah, they're going to react differently. They're always going to react differently, and that's just the truth, and it's the reality. Everybody says people don't care about Africa because that's the way the world acts, you know. Like we're talking about, we talked about these Russian soldiers and everything to Afghanistan, Syria. How many people died in that Rwandan genocide? I always go back to that. It's like 2 million. It's a crazy number.
I have
94
no
was it?
idea. I remember
94.
watching the movie Hotel Rwanda. I don't remember the actual
Rwanda,
numbers.
yeah.
That
It's
was my
some
introduction
insane.
to it, honestly. But
It's some insane number that never got media attention. We talk about genocide. Obviously, our community talks about it a lot, but that's an insane amount of people in the
Yeah,
land.
but
Right? Like
let's
you think about that, you're like, that's a different level. Why doesn't anybody care?
but
That's a
yeah.
different. That's a
Like,
different.
but I mean, we gotta acknowledge at the very least, like the fact that it's not. I don't
But it's
like
not
we've
the
all.
first thing. Like, and that's what I hate. Like when there's a conflict going on, like the first thing some of these like social media people are, oh, but it's not. If it was a brown person, it's like, yeah. What did you think?
No,
Like,
but it's not about
that's
what you
like you don't have
think.
to post that. No,
They
but you
don't
don't have
gotta.
to post that because it's the truth. Like
But I
if you're
think it's
sitting
worth
in this room,
acknowledging the
if
more they
you're
justify it when they prove it, because a lot of times they're like, "Yeah, but you don't really have the evidence to back that up." Anytime they give us more
yeah, but you
evidence to
also,
back it
I
up, you
mean,
gotta
the way I
acknowledge
look
it.
at sometimes I feel like we kind of know it's true.
It's like when
We know it shouldn't be true,
but
and
when you have more
but
to
it
go
is.
with it and show them, it's like sometimes like yo, if a cop pulls me over, he's gonna be a dick to me. And I told you, hey, a cop was a dick to me. Like, yeah, I know, it happens.
But it
But if I
also,
posted a
but it,
video about it and I said, look,
yeah,
he's, and then you're like, yeah, I think you need to acknowledge when
fine, fair
you
enough. But
get copies
there's
of.
different. So I was reading today about there's a tweet about, I guess, Afghanistan. Let's just talk about that. Why aren't the other Middle Eastern countries who are rich and wealthy held to the same account as Canadians who were, or anyone else that was pulling people out? They have money. And why don't they help? They
But
didn't.
why? But we're not. We should be comparing apples to apples. Like, why are we immigrating these guys but not these guys versus these guys? Like, why are we
Well,
asking?
Shinde, come on. There's
they're rich.
we have
It's
1
funny.
million Ukrainians here. Like they're gonna put pressure on every fucking
Man, Indian
politician,
government didn't even
everybody
pull
that
up
they
its.
have.
All I'm saying is
Okay,
we had one of the
it makes
largest.
sense. It makes sense why there's so much pressure on
We
the government to
had
pull people
literally
out.
one of the most sick-filled caucuses or cabinets, and we still couldn't get 6 out of Afghanistan after repeated promises that yeah, we'll get on it, we'll get on it. Clearly,
Because
there's
they don't care.
was it that they didn't
Don't
care, or did the MPs at the
they
time
don't
didn't care?
they don't care.
Who is it?
Because it doesn't affect them. Remember, when we see a Sikh in Afghanistan or we
It
hear
does.
about the
It's
Gurdwara
not a
like that,
voting issue,
man,
Shinde. It's not a voting issue.
for us it hits us here, right? It's like, yo, like we got to do something. For them, it's like, yo, there's this going all over the world. Same example I go to. There's all this stuff that happens. They just don't care. Now they see themselves in a developed country being attacked,
I
and
think.
which might have been where their parents came from
See,
or
I'm
their
not
grandparents.
surprised. I'm not surprised that they don't care. That's not. But I think it's worth reminding them every chance we get that you guys are kind of a dick, and this is why you're dicks. And I think you gotta let
That's
you
fair.
gotta
Yeah,
stay in
that's
their
fair.
ear
I can
about
agree
it.
with that.
I don't
I can
think
agree with
like
that.
I
I'm just like
hands
the way
up,
that some
hands
people
up.
get
I accept.
passionate and so like,
Hands up. I accept that that's just the way that things are. And it's just the
yeah,
way it is. Quote Tupac, right? But at the same time, every chance you get to tell me, "Hey, I'm a good guy," no, sir, you're a fucking racist. I feel like I gotta
yeah.
be in that ear, just letting them know, you know, your
Yeah,
deputy
there's
prime
no
No,
minister
I agree with that.
got
It's just
away. Your deputy prime minister got away with posing with UPA flags. Meanwhile, the second that Jagmeet was on stage talking about
yep.
Khalistan, which isn't even a we're gonna slaughter movement that you're trying to paint it as, we don't have the same history of
I
things.
still
I think the
understand. Is UPA racist? I don't understand.
So
I don't know
from
who
what I'm
the
reading, they're the national party who wants Ukraine to belong to Ukraine. It's a nationalist party. They want Ukrainians to
like
belong to native Ukrainians
so.
Okay.
and that kind of flex. Um, I'm just saying, when we're getting
I think you
slaughtered
should
for less, we should.
you should remind people. Agreed. I don't think anyone's arguing that. But some of the way people write things, it's as if they're surprised, and that's the one
Yeah,
that I'm
that's
and they're our
Well,
age. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
you've been around enough. Like, let's not act
No,
surprised.
no.
Let's
I'm not
inform
surprised.
intelligently and hold people's feet to the fire, but don't act surprised and be like, oh my god, how could they do this? Well, come on. Now let's
Yeah.
have that conversation and make when you act surprised, you act stupid, and if you act
Okay, I
stupid, they
get
don't
that.
care
I'll
anymore.
agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Don't be
Surprise is stupid
surprised.
and all that. But
Yeah,
some of it's theater too, right? You got to be like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh my God. Is it
that's yeah, possibly.
sarcasm? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
a
That's
social media
like
thing. I don't know.
when
I
I
think
post it
I
on
get it.
when I post these tweets, like, oh my God, look, it's kind of like,
Yo,
here's that
Justin
thing.
Trudeau
this
dressed
is
up in a
white
pug,
privilege.
and Justin Trudeau dressed up in a pug and blackface, and we didn't say nothing as a community. We're like, yeah,
We don't consider it racist. We don't consider it racist.
eh?
That's the truth of it.
That's the like
Yeah.
But yo, Randy
we
actually
just
made
we
a
gotta,
Randy said this interesting thing. He's like, imagine he can envision tanks rolling up into Brampton or something like that, right? How do you
Yeah.
think that would unfold?
Dude, like we're gonna
what do
set
you
up
mean?
what?
What do you mean? How do you think it would unfold, or how would you
So
feel?
We would be like, yo, they see trucker uncles fucking park your trucks on these main roads instead of fucking roadblocks.
We've truckers have shown that they're successful in that. I'm just letting you know.
Yes.
Ranjit's mentioned the
Yeah.
same thing that the truckers did.
I think there'd be some
Those truckers,
patriotism. I think
those
so,
truckers
man.
once again, Canadian
I,
truckers.
so like the Canadian Army's like, yo, everyone who needs an AK to fight, come reach, take an AK, take whatever bullets you need, hold it down, right? Hold what you need down. Here's your weapons. Come, like strap up. What
I
happens
think
in
a lot.
Brampton?
We're gonna
So yeah,
take out
actually,
we're gonna take out the people we have beef with, and then defend the base.
Like we go straight gangland in
we
my
just
mind, and
started.
look, that's what's going on in you. I don't know. Have you guys seen this footage? I had it up earlier. Have you seen this stuff?
I saw this. I saw this.
So I
Those
mean,
are Russian soldiers, right? Those are like other. This
I
straight
mean, I
turn
don't
into
know. I don't
gangland.
know what it is, but I'm gonna take the
Bodies on
caption.
the ground,
If it's true, then whatever.
guys. Like it really
But
looks like Lord of the
shouldn't
Flies type shit.
shouldn't this could be like these
Russian Deepops or whatever.
yeah, exactly these
okay,
saboteurs
so
who are like
let's
going around
yeah,
fucking shit up behind
let's do that
lines.
scenario. Let's do that scenario. Um, Russia invades from the north, and Brampton is the front line. You suiting up?
Am I suiting
Yeah,
up?
Are you suiting up?
I mean, I
if
already said
Canada,
if Canada goes where and we're conscripted, I wouldn't be running away. I'd be like, yo, let's just hold it,
So you're
hold the
you're
line.
grabbing.
But sometimes I gotta evaluate whether I'm doing that because it's like this romanticized version of like wanting adventure, or if it's like something I'd. But I think I'd be down. Like I kind of want to. One of my things is I should have gone into the military when I was younger.
Yeah, I've always had that regret that I didn't join.
I was always kind of like, and even now sometimes I'm like maybe just join as a reservist. I think I made this point last time. It's one of the places where I do think that it's honorable to
I said,
serve.
you consider yourself more like consider myself Canadian, more than I do Indian, obviously. But you're Canadian. We're all Canadian, so I have that pride. But in Brampton, it'd be interesting. You know, how many if
I
those people had
think
an opportunity to
I
jump on a flight and be back in Punjab, how many people sticking around?
it's true, but I think you'd be surprised, man. I think if JT comes on the air on CBC and is like anybody who's down to grab a rifle that from World
Yeah.
War II, because that's all
I'd
we
ask for
have,
my Chardik crossbow, bro.
and go yeah,
I'm
and
teach
go
these Russians. I'm like the Russians are coming like the Mongols, brother.
and like hold the line in northern Quebec. Like, are you down? And be like, all right, fuck, let's do this.
But yo,
No,
do you
think
know?
most
Do we click
people
up
would
like we call out all our high school boys? Like, yo, we all got to reach. We all got to do this, and it's like you're.
Trying to think of it this way. Look, let's say you reached, and me and Robbie are sitting here like, fuck, Shinda left, so you should probably go too, right? This
No,
yeah,
you assholes are like, well, how are we gonna record the next podcast? How does this prank thing work? How do
yeah,
you
yeah.
upload this shit?
Or like
Dude,
if
Is
like
it?
5, 6 of your crew go and there's only 3 of you left, and you fuck, you're like, all
no,
right.
having kids makes it different. Like seeing those like people send off their kids and their wives.
That was Russian
Yeah,
propaganda, or
was
that
it?
was NATO propaganda, because that was a Russian guy sending off his kid to go to war. We
And
were told that was a
confused
Ukrainian.
I'm so confused
That
by
was
all this. Whatever. Either way,
all
I
these
think when you have
heartstring
kids,
videos that get posted and get shared by all the journalists. 24 hours later, we get like the truth behind the video, and we're like, oh,
Yeah, but
you
who
guys really
cares?
manipulated
I'm
me.
sure. I'm sure that happened with Ukrainian soldiers too. Even that
Yeah,
footage didn't happen, right? So, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just saying, you guys
I'm
trick
sending
me
my family to
sometimes.
fucking India for sure. But
I'm sending
so,
mine to freaking Saskatchewan. Ain't no one trying to take over Saskatchewan. It's like, yo, Saskatchewan's probably the safest place because there's nothing out there. Well, then Jockey, hold up there somewhere.
nah, bro, Hamilton.
let's change. Let's
No one's touching Hamilton. Hamilton's good.
hammer, dirty hammer. How about we change it up? Sub in India instead of, or Punjab instead of Canada. Do you go back and defend the
So
motherland?
what's the scenario? What's the
If
scenario?
her mother stops getting
China,
attacked,
China has attacked India. They've got through Kashmir. They got through eastern India. They are approaching Delhi, and they're sweeping
So
west towards
Delhi.
Pakistan.
So they've already overrun Punjab.
Punjab is next.
I like how you
No,
put this whole geography in
you
there, and
just
I'm
said
trying my
they've
best
gone
to
to
visualize
Kashmir.
this.
They've gone to Kashmir, and now they're approaching Delhi. That means they've already gone through Punjab from the
No,
north. You're saying, right?
from north down.
Yeah.
From
So
from
North
from the
Kashmir,
from the
Punjab
north.
next.
Punjab is here.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying like that. Okay.
China's up here. They've come
Yeah.
down from the east, and they're
From
going.
the east. From the east. I see
Yeah,
what you're saying.
So they're
And
coming through Tibet.
Yes, yes.
Are they going to Punjab?
They could. They could not. Maybe. They're definitely tracking this way.
If they go, then that's the question for me.
Well, do they have to enter Punjab, and that's when you'll
Oh
go?
yeah, for sure.
That's part of the question too. Let's make it part of the question.
Yeah, 100%.
And India and Punjab are calling for everybody to fucking come back and take up arms.
That would
So
be
you're saying they
very
come through
Indian
Jammu
government thing
Kashmir
to do.
north? They're going
I
from
don't think
north
they
to
would
south.
because they have a pretty big army, but still.
I don't want to say it this way, but I feel like if any country was going to throw civilians up as cannon fodder, India would be the country that does it.
I don't know, man.
it's a lot of-
I have a respect for their fucking military.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I realize you got businesses there and you got your visa that you want to protect. I really don't. I don't know much about their military. I've only seen it in Hindi movies where they try to boast it up, but I see that Pakistan India border march thing where they'd have like that dance off and shit. I'm like, I would not be intimidated by you.
All right, China's approaching Amritsar from the north. There, from the border, they've overridden Pakistan.
I mean,
Pakistan
look,
is-
I go full well knowing
are you
that
going? Are
I'm
you
gonna
going?
die,
Is everyone
but
going?
I think so.
Ooh, hard question. No, are you going? They're on the border of on the border.
Yeah, I think you gotta. I think I gotta. I hope so. I can't say definitively, but I want to think that I would.
I gotta say, my
It's a hard
trigger
one.
to go back is a little bit
Oh wait, let's
earlier
let's
than
make
yours.
it more, let's make it more complicated. You have no Jameen, no family there. The
We
thing
really
that
don't.
links you-
Mm,
the only
I
thing that
li-
links you is the fact that Hamandar Saab's there. Do you
Yeah,
go?
100 hundo. I want to.
I
I would
don't
say
know.
hundo, but it's also one of those weird
Or
things where
or
you kind
do
of like.
something. I think it's you do something, right? You do
Robbie's the
something.
guy writing checks. He's like, here's a donation to the
No,
Punjabi Foundation.
And that's like,
I'll
I can
be
take down a
sending
website.
I'll take. Nah,
all
man.
from
The
all
China
from
firewall.
Ranjit's Delhi condo. We'll be in Delhi.
My fat ass
Yeah.
is running there and running out of breath holding the gun, but
I
hopefully,
think I'd go there a little bit earlier. To be fair, to be honest, guys, I think as soon as like in that hypo China like crosses over and is
A lot of
taking over a couple of states in India, I'd be like, all right,
a
fuck.
a lot of people in the news. I don't know now. I don't know if this is disinformation because everything I keep saying is obviously wrong. But those guys, those Canadians, going back to Ukraine to fight. Have you guys been
16,000
reading that
people,
at all?
foreigners have gone back to fight.
Crazy.
they had a foreign legion. But there was one funny thing that I saw related to that, and it wasn't really disinformation. It was the fact that they were going. But then the legion, the people they were kind of joining up with were like the white nationalists. So it's kind of like,
She's
huh.
not letting him go. She's not letting him go.
I was like, hold on.
He's-
So we just let a bunch of Canadian Nazis join the Nazis in Ukraine to fight the Russians. You guys really are writing
They're white
Putin's.
Talking about, oh, we just came from this trucker protest.
Yeah, buddy. Let me tell you about this protest. It was lit.
Yeah.
We had bouncy castles, and there was these
That's the
Sikhs, and they
only-
brought some great samosa. Oh,
Yeah.
you guys got Sikhs in
That'd
Ukraine?
be funny. That's the government's. That's the only flight you don't have to be vaccinated to go on. It's like, oh,
No.
they wanna- go ahead. Go ahead.
They 100% don't care about vaccinations there right now. That thing's done. It's done here, man. We lifted our vaccination stuff here too, so the truckers
Yo,
won.
there's some new strain going around all of a sudden. Who knows?
It happens. It happens. I just kind of, I always choose a path of least resistance when it comes to this stuff.
So
But yeah.
basically, you guys would go back.
We're not soft like you, mister. I'm going to sit on my telephone and watch this from afar.
I never made an opinion. I just said I'm just interested in your responses.
Your lack of response was response enough.
Would your kids go?
No.
Ooh, I don't think.
I mean,
kids would go.
my kid's not old enough.
My kids would hold up signs here in Toronto.
They'd be at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
protest holding.
I'll make a video, son. I'm going. Post it online. Get some likes.
See, now you're changing the dynamics of the whole situation, because now
Let's
if we're talking about kids being of age to serve and we're going back, I'm a Buddha. Like, I'm old enough as it is, right? Now I'm going to be older in that scenario.
But I think our link's different because of our parents. Our kids are not gonna have that link that we kind of have. You might take them as much as you want, but
I feel like
I-
that's the onus. That onus is going to be on me to make them have some sort of link.
Yeah, I agree, man.
but are you-
I'm gonna do
Are
it.
you taking your?
Yeah,
I
like
will.
I'll definitely. I'm waiting for them to get of age. I still think they're too young to really appreciate and like.
I don't know, man. These kids, like the kids these days, like they're so
Here's a
confusing.
scary thing, and I'm thinking about this,
So
and I know it's
soft.
kind of related to deep sea. The first time I went to India, I was so terrified of being in a car. I'd be even more terrified with my kid in the car with me in India.
Straight up, no car seats. Hold on.
No
Get on a
car seat.
scooter,
Hold
10
on.
people. Let's go.
We're
LFG. Let's fucking go.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of okay with being there with a kid and driving around. I have
So,
my
so
I have
what
my
happened?
precautions. I have my way of traveling, so I'm comfortable.
so Randy
Um,
literally drives around in a military vehicle. It's friggin' bulletproof glass. This thing can.
Yeah,
This is
like
the thing
gold.
that's not crushing in an accident. So he's kind of like, yeah, I'm good. And he's got his
no,
ex soldier
when I do
driver.
the Delhi to Punjab, trip, I do it at a time where there's not too many cars on the road,
Did I tell you
or
like
it's bright daylight.
did I tell you the last time I was in India what my taxi driver was doing?
No.
And that's a problem right there. You have a taxi driver.
Well, I had to leave. I was only there for 6 days. I think it's like 10 days before we shut down. What was it? February 2020 into
Mm.
March. My parents were staying a little bit longer. I didn't want to stay. I wanted to come home. So I booked
Wow.
myself, I guess the NRI taxis or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I sent them the WhatsApp live tracking. I'm like, look, you can see where I am. It's fine. So I hop in, and driver's cool. He's trying to talk to me. I don't really want to talk. Put my headphones past, kind of passed out, chill out. I'm in the back seat. It's an Innova. Anyone from
Yeah, great
goes
car.
and a decent car. Go in, and he keeps pulling over. He goes, "Yo, are you sure you don't want to go?" I'm like, "Nah, just get me to the airport because I have the lounge waiting there. I don't need to stop in a hotel
Holy
base.
shit!
Go."
Look at this guy, friggin'
Well, no,
lounge
I
waiting,
don't want to stop.
headphones
Go,
on,
right?
doesn't
Just
want to
keep going.
talk.
And then after, he's like, "I got to stop, freshen up." I'm like, "You do your thing, man. All good." Right? So he goes and he come back and he's driving. He starts talking about taxi drivers and how it is in Canada. And this guy openly just told me he did some theme and we all do it. I'm like, okay, right? He's just telling me all the drugs he's taken before he is driving me. I was like, great. And if my kids were in this car, that would have been an even more interesting experience, right? And then I think it was the time before I had gone, someone had slapped the driver awake because he fell asleep at the wheel.
Sounds about right.
And I was like, what is this? What is going on, right? Like,
I
sorry, we
Shinda's
don't
met
have
this.
personal chauffeurs like Ranji. Some of us are normal.
And not just a
Shinda, well,
personal
you
chauffeur. Not just a personal chauffeur. This guy has an
Servant.
I don't.
ex-military driver.
Oh
This
yeah,
guy
now I
served
do.
in
Yes,
Kashmir.
now I do. Yeah.
That's so messed up.
This guy legit drives around with he's a driver slash security guard.
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
packing?
yeah. He
Is it
He's
is.
gas?
yeah, AR-2, not a
No,
pistol.
the guy Shinda's talking about, he was, but he doesn't work for us anymore. His nephew does. Anyways, I was coming back from Amritsar one time, and I made my driver do this like shitty trip. We left at like 4
Oh,
a.m.
I thought
from
you're like, I
Delhi.
made my driver do a line before we left just to make sure he
No,
was
no, no.
awake.
So we did this
Straight
4 a.m. We left
Carlton.
at 4 a.m. from Delhi, got to Amritsar, spent the day in Amritsar, and we came back at night. I told him we can stay. I'll get us a hotel. You can rest. He's like, no, I want to go back to Delhi. We're driving back. It's 2 a.m. and I'm falling asleep. He slams the brakes hard, takes a wrench from underneath his seat, and goes and beats the shit out of this car driver in front of him. Uh, I'm pulling him out. I'm like, why the fuck did you do that? He's like, I was falling asleep. I need to do something.
What the fuck?
Wait,
This guy literally just.
this is the country you're defending, right?
I get it.
I hope it wasn't my poor driver that was on his feet.
I will, dude. You should go with the Indo-Canadian bus. Like, don't fuck with these drivers. They're all taking fee anyways.
I took the bus, and I was one of the worst experiences because they didn't even have a
That's
seat
why
for
I didn't
me.
want to go.
They put me at
I
the
didn't want
back of the bus, and they're like, "Yo, here," and they gave me a milk crate. I was so. This is my first time coming to India in like 20, 30, 25 years. I was so like welcome.
Like, this is a Gora Sikh, Gora Sardar. Fuck this guy.
They literally put me on a friggin' milk carton on the back of the bus, and I had like, and I paid for this ticket. I was so cheesed that I got. By the time we got to the bend and like got to a comfortable bed, I was just angry.
Yeah, if you don't have a personal driver, someone you can, like a family member, then
No, I
how we
mean,
do the
there's,
bus.
there's always family members around, but it's just like, why can't
I
you get
was
out,
angry.
have a
My
nice
whole time in
accent?
India, I just remember for a big chunk of it, I was angry. Anytime, that's when I just started shitting on people left and right. My mom was like, "What's going on?" Because, like, I don't know, this place just makes me angry.
It does. That's why I left. Every time I
How
go there, I
is
get angry. I get
every
angry.
time I talk to people, some of the people I talk to, they would just like bring out. I just felt like I had to be an asshole to people to get shit done. Like
You
if
guys
I
are
went in, if
dicks.
I went in, I try to be like Hanji Paisa wa kar sakte," they just straight ignore
Oh
me.
yeah. You can't. You have to talk a little bit rough.
Yeah, okay, so Mister, you little dicks. Every
Yeah, but
like
not
that's
angrily. Not angrily.
no,
Just a little
but
rough.
see, that roughness doesn't come as an act.
You don't say, "Can you
Well, it helps
please
with
do
Ranji
this?"
when you got your bodyguard standing next to you with a
I don't
gun. Like,
have
it's different.
And
bodyguards.
an
I don't
You
have a
have
AR.
bodyguard.
bodyguards. The old guy's ex-military. What is he? What did he go to driving school? He's ex-military driver and he packs a
He's
gun. What is?
ex-military. He's
Why does he
retired,
have a gun?
and then he needs
Why,
a job
why does he have a gun?
because he's a ex-military guy and he's
For
licensed to
security.
carry a gun.
For security.
Yeah.
He's a bodyguard.
All I'm saying is when you're in India, you always take Ranjit's numbers just in case
Yeah.
you get in trouble. You're like, "Yo, buddy, can you bail me out?"
Yeah.
um,
It
but
I'm
no,
helps.
sure. I'm sure people have. I'm just saying, for the normal perspective, the way I've gone through it, I can't see taking my kids there anytime soon. My daughter,
Hmm.
especially. Um Also, when I had a certain very close family member, my niece got extremely sick. They got money, and it wasn't a good experience in the hospitals. So that kind of like, it's like, you know what? Maybe when they're older,
I got
maybe as a
sick.
fact finding. Oh, Dad, I want to know who I am. All right, let's go. One of those kind of trips. That's when I'll take them.
I got
But
sick. I went. My mom was like, "All right, you've been in bed for like the last 8 hours, just shitting yourself all friggin' nonstop." He's like, let me help you out. Guy takes me to the local pharmacy, which is literally like this random garage looking thing with the guy with a bunch of packets all over the place. Guy's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Bano aya munda." The guy nodded his head, gave me 2 tablets. He gave me like a strip. It was had like 3 tablets in it. He's like, "Take
it's
one
some
now,
Mojam or
take
some
one
shit.
tomorrow
Yeah.
if you're still feeling sick." I'm like, "Okay." I literally take it within half an hour. I'm feeling cold, and I'm like, "What the hell? This is a miracle drug." I've
It's
never
just stupid
taken
strong. So strong.
I've never taken medicine that made me heal within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Usually it's like take two now, take two in 8 hours, and you'll gradually get better. One tablet, I was like, "Yo, I'm ready to go." What the fuck was that? I come back and everyone's like, "Buddy, that's Feme."
Shit.
They're like, they gave you some sort of
No.
they're like, "Yo, it's all opium there." They're like, when they give you medicine, it's varying degrees of opium.
That's
No,
awesome.
I don't know about that. Not at the
That's
chemist, but
hilarious.
well, it could be. But look, I've got some of the worst colds ever, and they've given me medicine, and I'll be shaking, and within by the end of the day, I'm great.
Half an
Nobody gets
hour.
over a cold in one day in Canada, but in India it's fucking possible
I
because they
mean,
give
look
you
at
There's
you
a
right now,
reason why
buddy.
some of their
You've been
medications are banned
yeah.
because
you
they
But
can't produce them properly.
I'm gonna take
The
my kid.
factories
I'm
aren't
gonna
trusted.
take my kid as soon as he can handle diarrhea. Like it's gonna happen. It's part of the process.
all right,
Yeah,
talking about your kids
honestly,
though.
like a good age
Hold
for
on.
me, my kids maybe 10, 12, possibly. But yo, with girls and the experience that girls go through and
I've
walking
heard about the
around.
girl experience being completely different than the boy experience,
Yeah, and
so I accept
I
that.
witnessed it. When I witnessed it and I lost my mind, I'm like, yeah, if my daughter, that was now my daughter, oh dude,
Dude,
you know,
I
nah, I'd lose my mind.
I know what you're talking about, but I take my sister out. Like when we're there, we have a lot of fun and party together. It sucks. Yeah, I wouldn't send her on her own, but with me on her own, with us two, it's fine.
Hold on,
No, no, I'm just saying,
it's not.
but when your
Hold on,
daughter,
Ranji. Be
like, I've
fair. Be
done it with
fair.
my sister. Yeah.
Ranji's talking about if it was me with her. It's with your friggin' bodyguard with her.
No, just me, just me.
Yeah,
Jumping on
I'm
the
sorry.
subway. Fuck
When
off.
we walk through
Fucking
Toda
dick.
Bazaar in Ludhiana, Ranjit, it doesn't open up for me like Moses in the sea, like it does for you, because you got these 20 bodyguards coming up. No, in Toda Bazaar, everyone's like on you, touching you. It's
Dude,
worse,
But
man.
you
yo,
should
Horrible
see
see
that
the
happened to
experience.
places
me.
I've been.
I started throwing elbows too. I was like, yo, I had hundred throw
Yeah,
elbows too. Let's go.
dude, I started pushing people, and then I felt like a dick. But I'm like,
Because
that's
you guys
what you got to
have this
do.
fucking Western concept of personal space built into your mind.
No, the best is
That's what you
crossing
go
the
there
road.
with.
No, the crossing the road's the best, right? So like my cousin, when he's like, he goes, you walk like you don't give a shit. You're bigger than everybody. I'm like, seriously? He goes, just walk
Yeah.
like you're bigger than everybody. I was walking right in front of trucks, they're yelling, and you look straight at them, and they'll just stop, and you just take your time and walk across the street. And
See,
There you
But then
go.
I'm like, this is a reason why this country's inefficient. Nothing gets done here. Nothing.
you're like, maybe, I
Like
mean,
I'm
I guess your size worked out for you there. But yo, I wanted to talk about like wrong kids and stuff. How much time do you let your kids on phones?
Depends what I need him to do. If I need him to eat
depends.
his food, then fucking
Depends
take
how
a
busy
phone.
I am. Here,
Yeah.
take this.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I remember before we had kids, I was like, look, man, screen time's gonna be limited. I know all the bad things about it. Post kid is like, eat your breakfast. Here, just watch a Blippy. Just take it. Go
Yeah.
eat breakfast. Watch Blippy.
Baba Blip-
Come back.
Baba Blippy. Baba Blippy.
Blippy's so
No,
crack cocaine for
good
kids.
to know that you guys are just as shitty fathers as I am. Apparently, like
My
you're not
wife
supposed to
literally.
give
Hold
him
on, is
that
your
screen time.
bodyguard at home as well?
Yeah,
Because
fuck off.
that's an advantage you have that we don't.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
much screen time do you guys generally take? Like, are you guys hooked to the screen? So I think I am.
I've cut back as of January because I just stopped giving a shit. Because you ever find like what I did was cool was Instagram. I don't put every
Alerts.
office I work in. No, the Wi-Fi on my phone. So if I don't have Wi-Fi, it won't upload the new stories.
Okay.
And anytime I'm at work, my Instagram won't get uploaded at night. Now my habit is not to even go on it. Twitter, I go on when I have a second or two, but I don't find myself wasting as much time on Twitter. Whereas like Instagram, you're just sitting
See,
there
that's where we
going
differ
through
because I
these.
think I waste way more time on Twitter. I turned
Same.
Instagram off almost. I turned all
But
the
I don't.
alerts and
You
notifications
guys
off.
aren't Twitter on your computers though, right? Like you're not just surely on your phone.
No. When I'm not on my computer, it's on my phone.
Oh,
I
really?
find myself refreshing Twitter nonstop sometimes. Like,
Yep.
let's see.
But I mean, that keeps you engaged. That's not really like you're reading your news on it. You're communicating with people. It's not so much.
I think it's pretty bad still.
Yeah, but it's not like you sitting there watching Blippy
I
for 6
appreciate
hours,
I
right? Like that's
appreciate
a bit.
you try to justify and give me some sort of vindication out of
What the
this.
fuck is
Yeah.
Blippy?
Huh?
You'll
What is
find out.
Blippy?
My kid's what,
You'll
6
find
months
out
older than
soon.
yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wait for 4 more months. You'll know.
So my
Right.
kids watch a lot of TV, but I find um, they're not like zoned out kind of thing.
Oh
My
man,
kid's
my
zone
kid is
zone.
fucking zoned the
No,
fuck
like
out.
they are zoned out, but like my son who's only what 20 months, like he's laughing when he's watching something, and I watched him like that's okay, that's all right, cool. You're laughing, you're engaging with it. He points at, he goes, oh look at this, and look. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I don't mind that aspect,
I
and
feel
I
like my
think
kid
that
just zombies out.
My
so
kid
my
too.
daughter,
My kid used to laugh, but now he's
yeah,
fucking zombied.
I don't
no,
even
but
remember if my kid ever did.
my daughter's a bit older, so for her, she uses it. I got her the Amazon tablet, which is a little bit more controlled. The apps you can
Okay,
pick, and certain things.
we're
But
not on tablets yet.
no, I don't want to give my phone. But it's so at work, at least for what I see is like it's the 10-year-olds. So the 10-year-olds on like things like Roblox or playing a little bit older with Fortnite. Man, those are the kids like, and they went through a pandemic where they had nothing else but that, right? Like that's so intertwined to what they do on a daily basis. So like even today at work, I had to tell a parent, hey, you got to cut it back 2 hours, and the kid just protests right there, yelling,
You told a
screaming at
parent? It was
me.
another parent or you?
No, the child who can't be on the tablet for this long, and and I'm trying to tell the parent, you got to cut it back. The parent looks at me as if I've, you know, uh, basically given them a death wish. Kids losing their mind, and the parents, even some Punjabi parents, got "Ki ka sar de?" And I'm like, man, this is like a new
But
thing where like the kids are so hooked, even the parents don't know what to do. It's the new drug,
Yeah, they're
right?
no,
not gonna
but
play. They don't play
And I
sports. They don't play
and
outside. It's fucked.
here's the best thing. And I told one parent, hey, cut the Wi-Fi. Every Wi-Fi app, you can cut it off. You can shut it. Then the response was, "Fir aisi ki karunge?" I was like, I just looked at them. I'm like, what? I'm like,
yeah, because they're gonna lose their Wi-Fi too. Then
no, I know, but it's like you get an hour or two where you're not,
I really do
stuck
want to
to a
start reading
screen.
more, but at the same time, I'm like, if I have an hour, I may as well just try playing Halo or play quick game of Rocket League. Like,
Yeah, but that's gonna be a big problem when it's your kids just sitting there zoning out and saying, and you're
But that's where I kind of wonder,
6
because
hours.
like these games are pretty engaging. Like they're engaging parts of your brain that maybe reading a book doesn't.
So
That maybe it's not near as bad. I
if
don't
my
know.
kid's playing sports and being active and in school and doing all arts and all this, and they want to do that on top of that, I'm down with that. But if that's a majority of the time and that's all they do,
Yeah,
no, then
fuck that.
then you have some issues. And also remember that most of the social interactions happen now over with their groups that they're playing with.
Look at
You can't even
this.
monitor.
What is this?
I know, yeah, but we're older.
We're the exact same.
Yeah, but you can't monitor that, right? You don't know.
I still play sports.
Yeah,
Well, you look like you do. Fuck.
you should be like, I watch them. I watch
Yeah,
sports.
yeah.
I don't even
No.
watch sports. I'd be lying if I said I watch sports.
But
I watch
yeah.
highlights. But what was the last book you guys read then?
Ooh,
When was the last time you read a book? And then what was it?
I
I've
don't
been
read
reading more
anymore
articles.
for fun,
I've been
man.
reading. I got the news,
Oh, yeah.
Apple News or whatever it is. So I've been
So you're
reading
just reading
the full
newspapers?
yeah, like I'm still reading, but just not in a book form, right?
You're just
Um,
just like I read for a living.
yeah,
No,
I read
his
for a
security
living.
guard his security guard irons out the
Mr.
paper for him
Esquire.
every morning. Here you go,
Uh,
sir. Here's today's news.
I haven't read since I finished law school. And the book I
So
read after
lawyers
was the
don't-
sequel to my favorite book called. The book I read was called Mountain Shadow. It was the sequel to Shantaram.
What?
It's a real life story of an Australian mafia guy. No, Australian guy on the run from prison, ends up in Bombay and joins the local mafia.
Okay.
I've actually bought a ton of books. I just don't read them. Is that strange?
Yeah,
No,
that's
I do
weird.
the same thing. I do
That's
buy
a weird
books.
flex. What's the point?
I see books. I'm like,
I'll
I'm
read
interested
it
in
one
this topic. I'm gonna read this one day, but I'll put
I
out
have a
bookshelf.
whole history of Sikhs, volume 1 and 2. I got
Push
there's
one
one whole
thing.
book on. Yeah, I got that. I haven't read it. I bought Maharaja Ranjit Singh's biography. Not gonna read it. Uddam Bhagat Singh's, and that's another one I bought.
You're like, I'm
All
waiting
these
for the
books.
movie.
I just keep buying these books. I'm like, oh, I'll read them. And I'm like, we'll see.
I grew up loving books, so I still have like this thing where I like owning books, but haven't really spent any time reading. I try to make time, but
Yeah, that's
free
not gonna
time,
happen.
free time is like Wordle or
If I'm
playing
reading, I
video
need to
games,
get
and
paid.
then
I need the money. Pay me money.
What's
man,
that? You just said
Yeah.
lawyers don't read, so
I mean, if I am gonna read, I want to be paid for it.
but man,
It's
I
shit.
don't know, man. Shit's
Shit's
weird.
man,
with
it's
shit's
gonna be
weird, especially
reading.
with the gas prices going up too. Everything.
I was trying to figure out. I was trying to
down.
think of a segue. I just could not think of a segue.
Well, look, there you go.
I was trying to
Kids are
figure out the
becoming more
segue
lazy.
from this.
Yeah,
$2
don't wanna
fucking
drive.
dollars in BC, $2.16 some places here. What the fuck are you gonna do? I need a bus pass.
I'm booking my. I told you about that car, guys, 2 weeks ago. I am going in 2 weeks. Got my appointment to book my car.
I was looking at electric cars today. I'm like, yo, I think I needed an electric minivan. And then
Ioniq or which one? The
Ioniq.
Hyundai?
Ioniq. Yeah, Honda.
no,
Yeah.
congrats,
Well, I
Mister.
haven't
I
got
can
it.
afford. Are you gonna get it with the friggin'
So,
delay in
so
price
what
and
happened?
stuff?
So what's crazy? So here's my kind of analysis, if you will, or me and my buddies, because we tend to do this together. So the Ioniq car, the one we were talking about, the Hyundai, its example, it was made for a 2022 model with all these features, camera, sensors, XYZ. Obviously, there's been a supply shortage, and these guys made like a 2022.5 model where you pay the same amount of money, but you get half the sensors because they just can't find them.
What?
So they just changed the car. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So yeah, they didn't. There's a lot of cases like that, in a lot of car companies. So now what's happening is that when I think we just contacted them last week, been talking to salesperson back and forth, and they indicated to us that as of I think last week, all 2022 models are now sold out for the rest of the year. So if we want to proceed to book a 2023 model, which I think will have all those sensors, they're starting production in July. So expected
So
delivery will probably be about January, February
the
of
Onyx
next
a
year.
hybrid, right? Or is it fully electric?
Fully
Fully
electric.
electric. fully electric, right? So I'm like, cool, and looking at the gas prices, there's gonna be uncertainty. Maybe it goes down. Who knows by the end of the year? I don't know these things. But I'm like, okay, so
I think
these
it
things
comes
are gonna
back
be
down.
very, very hard to get a hold of. The demand's gonna be higher. People aren't gonna be able to get it.
Something's gonna
Prices.
happen, man.
No, I'm not saying that. I just think the rarity of it, right? So it's harder to get these things down. For example, Porsche. I forgot which model it is. Porsche and BMW. I think it's the 911. Is stalling production on all this year's models. Can you guys guess why?
Nobody
Out
wants
of
gas
parts.
cars.
No, there's
Oh,
a
it's hurting their
harness that they.
sales.
No, there's a electric harness that they need to make the car. Guess where it's made?
Russia?
Russia.
Fucking Ukraine.
Oh
Oh
I
shit!
don't. I don't think that factory's there anymore.
Hey,
They're like,
yeah.
so we don't know
And
what's
this
going on with our.
and this is one example of it. But man, the world's getting crazy. I'm like, so if everybody wants electric cars, man, I'll get in on it.
I
And
actually
who
like the
knows,
look of
right?
these
But
Porsche EVs.
But
yeah,
I
look
want to
at
touch on
life.
what Shinda said, and that's what I was saying. It's got to change, man. No politician is going to get reelected with gas prices this high. They already have every country has a hard time with inflation right now, and those
Inflation. We already talked about inflation, but yeah, the
We
gas
already
price at
did.
$2.
the gas
That's what's
price $2, that's going to kill politicians. So
we got a
there's
sanction attached to us
No,
from this war, right? It's like a sanction that got applied to citizens here.
there's
there's
motivation is what I'm saying, is to do whatever the fuck you need to do to get this fucking these
I
but people
think
aren't
prices down.
as hurt. People aren't hurting at the pump as much as you think because they're not back at work yet. A lot of those cars are parked, working
That's
from
not
home.
what the 1 hour traffic to downtown Toronto tells me these days, man.
I'm in
no,
that
I've seen
traffic. I
traffic.
agree with
Yeah.
you.
I feel like traffic's
Yeah.
kind of back to pre-pandemic levels.
No,
Yeah.
it's because people are going out. That's all it is. There's a lot of people still working at home. I think the federal government is it federal
Eh,
or provincial?
Federal.
All government 3 days a week now? Or
Robbie,
is it
everybody's
half a
gonna
day?
go back to the office by April. Like, not when I say
Yeah,
everybody, I mean like all the hybrids are gonna start.
I
and
mean,
then
my
traffic is
companies are always going to be remote, bless. But
but
talking about
doesn't that make sense? Gas
like we have the
prices so
carbon
high
tax
comes in.
coming on, right? And the carbon tax was going to jack gas up by another 10 cents. I feel like the federal government's going to put a pause on that right now. They're like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's hold up on this
Who,
tax
kno-
real quick.
who knows? Who
It's
I
knows?
shit.
feel like it has to happen. Like
That's
honestly,
what
my
he should, because
friggin'
he'll just be giving ammo to the conservatives if he just does it. The conservatives are like, oh great, like that's what they'll run the whole election on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
You're
enough,
the need.
man.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Liberals will vote conservative just to fix that tax or what's going on with what's happening in their wallets, man. It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
even when I
I
go to the
don't, I
gas
don't
station,
have
I
a,
cringe. Like I tighten up.
I'm
I
okay
clinch a little
with
bit when I'm at that gas.
Okay,
When I
how
get to
much?
the gas
I've
station, I
been a
clinch.
so my diesel is gonna go skyrocket more than anything they're saying, but I I
and
put
that's
it in
gonna kill the
yesterday.
fucking trucking industry.
Truckers, man.
Always truckers, man. Always in
Uh,
the news.
always he's always putting it in there, right?
It's always letting us know,
The
like,
Heroes, heroes.
look,
but
man, having a
honestly,
private
yesterday
security guard doesn't come easy.
that's how you got the private security guard. But filling up yesterday, I think it was $10. That was the difference for
But
me.
over the course of the year,
That would be, let's see, about
I'm at 30
400
bucks
bucks.
now.
That'd be
Or
400 bucks
no,
for me.
I'm 30 bucks compared to what a fill used to cost me last year.
But my car is also efficient, so it's weird, right? Like if you're and I drive consistently. My
You
driving
drive way more than
habits
I
have
do,
not.
but actually no,
Yeah,
we
like I
drive
said, 100
pretty.
kilometers at least.
We're one fill up a week. It gets crazy, man. I'm kind of
Oh,
like,
here's a question: do you do those crazy lineups at Costco that I just drove by the other day to save
Oh,
$4?
no, oh, to get the gas. No, I've never been I don't like lining
but-
up. I hate lines.
I did it once, and I was like, "Fuck it, this is not worth it."
Yeah,
I
it's
went
not
to
worth it, right?
Esso. I went to Esso. I got my Esso fill up. I like Esso because I can actually use the app to quickly pay.
What?
Because Esso has a Speed Pass
Peace.
app.
And
I
they
mean, you
have
can
these-
literally just tap the credit card.
You can, but now you don't have to get out of your car. So you know how when it's cold outside, you just say, "I'm at the pump. Here's the pump number," and it authorizes it.
You have to get out to pump the fucking gas.
Yeah, but now I get to stay in the car 30 seconds while I.
Where's the fucking efficiency? What are you
No.
doing?
Because when you tap, then you gotta click no twice, and then you gotta pick the gas. Here, I just gotta pick the gas.
Oh, you
I'm saving
fucking
3
pansy.
taps.
You fucking pansy. It's so bad. Your
And
brother is
it,
ashamed of you. When he hears this, he's
and
gonna be so ashamed of you.
and it automatically
We have
goes. Pardon?
full service pump.
You hear about? They don't have full service here no more.
Yeah. There's one on Highway 10 in Mayfield.
Really?
There's not so many. Yeah, there's one. They're like.
Haven't seen a full service gas station. I don't know how long. I
Yo, all the
remember.
students, bring them back, man. Bring them back.
I might
do.
offer full service and pay $1 more. Is that all it cost? Was it more than $1?
I don't know. We don't have a security guard who's willing to pump the gas. That's why Randy's not flinching.
Yeah, he just
His
like
boys
whatever.
rolling with
Man.
him over here.
No, in India they don't have to pump gas.
But yo, everything like Burrito Boys cost me almost double what it did 3 years ago. That's my
That's crazy.
equation for everything. Is am I paying more for food? Food prices are
Maybe
going up.
maybe you've been eating too many burrito boys.
Yeah, lagda.
Why you guys know, I shouldn't have told you that I'm sensitive about this. This is
Yo, you're the one who put yourself on blast right when you got on. I'm gonna just put this out there. This is kind of tight.
Dude,
is-
so that I feel bad for that middle button right now. Like fuck,
it's really holding on right now, man.
it's got the same pressure Putin has right now on him.
Hey,
Being pulled both ways.
Loki,
China
Loki,
one side, the
Have
other.
you guys seen this? Have you guys seen this thing? I don't know if you guys watch Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I heard
Yes,
about
this was
this.
good.
Like we want to
Okay,
gotta watch a little
who
clip,
actually-
right?
Who actually figured it out?
So I know after hat failed, I said cap. So I understand the first one failing, like where she's like another feather in your
But isn't
Right.
that the saying?
It's either hat or cap. That it's those two.
yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was hat, but apparently the saying's cap, which I don't get. For those listening, there was a lady on. Everyone kind of got suckered. It was like a full 2-minute thing. They literally only had like 2 letters missing in their 3
Trying
letters.
to solve the puzzle in Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune, and she tried to solve it. She said another feather in your hat. Got it wrong. It goes the full circle. One guy gets bankrupt, another guy loses all his money. Comes back to her. She says something like map.
Yeah, map or
then-
something weird. Mac. She said Mac.
Yeah, which is weird. And then third try, she said something like completely out there. And then one other guy. So 6 tries basically. You got 6 tries before it got solved with only 3 letters. Honestly, that's like the worst game of Wordle.
Yeah,
you can imagine.
Exactly. It's just
I've been there in
basic.
Wordle, but this I would have easily gotten. I just thought it was entertaining though, because everyone was talking about it. They're like, "Yo, this has to be the worst round of Wheel of Fortune in Wheel of Fortune's 40-year history." But I don't know. I
This
was
is
not
hella
into it.
basty. Maybe these guys are the bunders of the week.
I feel like this is Bonded of the Week material right here. Like I think they made it.
No.
They made a honorable mention
Is it?
showing.
Honorable mention, I think.
Honorable mention.
They're on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
What about
okay.
this guy? You guys probably heard about this guy in Cambridge.
The Cambridge guy who
The Cambridge
Is-
guy, he was in a
I-
minivan.
for the
He
listeners,
runs out
for the
naked.
listeners, there was a car accident or a video of a car accident on, I guess what we're looking at is a blog website, but there's a car that obviously crashes into snowbank, crashes to another
like
car,
how
and there's a
rude-
naked man.
I love this
who
play-by-play
proceeds
that
to-
Robbie's trying to operate without.
Well, I mean, there's probably someone
Naked
listening
guy
that
who
doesn't
runs
understand.
out with a small
With a
ass
tub that
wrench
looks
that
like a
you
tub
can't
that-
really see. Probably,
No, man, it's a pretty big towel.
No. It's not the towel I'm talking about.
What are
I
you
was gonna
looking?
talk about his body. I was gonna talk about his body type and shit, but I ain't gonna go there.
You guys are
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that was an entertaining thing. Like I had no idea what I was watching when I
maybe
got
it was because
got
it's
this clip.
cold. I feel bad for the guy.
No, I think it's a mental health issues, man. That that doesn't look normal.
Look, I don't know if it's a
You-
mental health issue or a bit of a nose drug.
No, stuff
oh.
doesn't do that.
I mean, whatever. I think it's some sort of drug issue. This was like some sort of intoxicant. I remember watching this video though. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. This is highly entertaining though. Like I just needed
No,
that
yeah, he's
background
not.
music
He's
going.
not well. I don't think he's well. Like he got back into the car to drive away.
And he does drive away a little bit, crashes again,
So
gets out.
why is it we always feel bad for like someone who's like high on drugs and going through something, but if he was totally and drunk, we'd be laughing our ass off.
I
Wait,
mean,
what? I mean,
I
I
don't know
would
if that's
laugh
If
true.
if
you
they're
hear
on
these,
drugs.
Or
you would
deadly.
laugh if they're on drugs.
Yeah, I'd laugh if they're on
No,
drugs.
people are like,
Or
oh, he's going through hardships. You don't know what
no. I'll fucking
Someone's
laugh.
drunk.
I
You're like,
won't
oh,
laugh at his
sorry.
mental health. If his mental health is like, all right, fuck.
Yeah, mental health, I'll give this guy a little bit more of a pass.
Yeah.
Drugs, I'm like, you freaking crack.
I was watching the videos. I'm like, what's everybody making in Cambridge? Because all these cars were like
Nice
Beamers and
cars. But I mean,
nice cars, man.
listen,
I'm like,
They
Cambridge.
sold their houses in the GTA and is moving out to Cambridge.
but Cambridge houses are just as high right now. Cambridge is not as cheap as we think it is.
No, not
There's only
more.
one guy who lives in Cambridge. Only one guy I know.
And then what about Natalia Kusendova? Is she an MP? MPP?
Mississauga.
Yeah,
MP
Miss
from
Saga
Mississauga.
Center. She was.
Oh, she just goes back to
She doesn't believe that Ukrainians are
Are
racist.
racist.
I'm
That-
telling
that-
you,
that-
whoever the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, one of the greatest lobby groups in all of Canada, that they're getting their
Okay.
MPs to. They got their MPs whipped.
Yeah, but I mean, are you surprised?
See, to say I'm surprised, no, but to have evidence to back it up is a huge thing. To anecdotally be like every politician's corrupt, yeah. I mean, you can anecdotally say that about thing, but when you have like the hard, friggin' words on paper type situation, like here's why you're corrupt.
Well, this is just
Those
she
are
looked
called-
at she looked at the video of the African students getting pulled back from the border, and she said it was misinformation, Russian
Yeah, she's
misinformation.
like this is Russian ops, and I think again, surprise maybe not, but you gotta really, really remind them like, no, this is the shit that we're talking about that you guys keep saying that you don't do that you're doing, because they're in full on denial about being racist sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. But she's another politician trying to save her donation. So
I feel like there's a
let's be
real theme with
what do you expect? You know, if that's a majority of where her donations come from, she's going to say whatever they want.
Yeah,
She needs to keep the seat for the next election. That's what politics is.
one of the greatest
think that they're
lobbies
there for
of all
some
time.
Well, to think if they're there for some noble cause, come on, guys. They're
I
not
feel
the
like
best of them.
one of the greatest lobbies in Canadian recent history that I can think about. We need to just take notes from the Ukrainian lobby, because they're friggin' getting their MPs on board to say the right messaging at the right time. I
Dude,
don't think anyone else can really do that.
there's a million of them, man. It's a big deal. Plus, they got like the politics of the West to favor them as well right now.
All right, so 3 Bhandars of the week. Goat of the week, Ranji's cousin.
Yo,
Is this your cousin? Seriously?
so let me give you a story of this.
Okay, is this real cousin or like
No, Ben cousin.
Band cousin.
friend cousin?
So-
That makes
Sukhdeep Singh
So-
Chakria. Ranji actually got us tickets to a few of his fights early on in his career.
Chakria is the very, very next bed next to mine. And there, my dad's mommy,
Chucker, I've been to Chucker.
yeah. So this very next bed next to mine, there, my dad's mommy set up this sports academy for boxing and soccer. World-class boxing ring, world-class soccer field. And their deal is they fly in coaches from here, best coaches in India, best coaches in England. They'll fly them there. They'll train local kids. And the deal is you can't do drugs and alcohol, and you have to go to school. Not get great grades. You just have to go to school and just be a good kid. And then you get all access to all this training for free. So they have this academy there. They've done great work, God's work, honestly. And Suk is a product of that academy. And fucking
Oh,
look at him.
serious? Wow. He's from
Look
there.
at him. He's undefeated pro, and now he's gonna be doing prize fights. He's the Canadian champion, man. This is fucking nuts.
So is he Canadian now?
Was he
He's
Canadian
champion.
now?
He's
it's-
he's a Canadian citizen now.
Okay.
And
Man, your family got some connects, eh?
he's fucking killing it, man. I'm so proud of this kid. I've seen him. I think he was like 11 or 12 when he came to Canada, and look at him now.
So, I mean, some of the listeners might be saying, when you say world class, and I've actually been to that bend. Dude, that bend's on another level. If you haven't,
What do you mean?
like, research the bend.
They put in like clean water filtration
water.
systems, stuff
So,
like that, yeah.
when I was there,
It's like a model. They made it into a model bend. It's my dad's mama's guys. They
nice.
put so much money into the bend.
There's a big story behind. So when I was there last time, the same time, I told you guys about the taxi story. My mom's pind is near Dillon, which is in the south of Ludhiana. And so my cousin came to pick me up to take me back to my dad's house, and they said, "Look, we'll go around that way and go through Jugron, big loop, but we'll stop through this pind." And so everyone I've been talking about has been just kind of hyping this thing up. And not me being me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? Like, how good could it be?
Shared
And
it
so
in
the
Job
story
Sports
was it.
Academy.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so the story is these two, I guess, businessmen, whoever they might be. Sorry, Ranjit might have some more context to that. Went back and basically gave back to their town, and it's paved. The entire thing's all the sanitation's covered. All the drains are covered. There's schools. The roads are wide. They got a water sanitation right in the middle where there's fresh pond. They got pedal boats in the middle of the bend and bridges. And I'm like walking around like, what is this place? But the bend's in the middle of nowhere.
Fuck off.
So it's not like it's connected to
Fuck
something
off.
big.
All right.
No, in a good way. And what I'm trying to say is what they achieved without being say, oh, we're right next to Ludhiana or something else, right?
Yeah. No,
They
but they're right
achieved
next to
all this.
Lopon, so it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's an actual local
This
thing.
guy just has to plug his pin right while he's at it. Maybe we just make you
Well-
Bhandar of the week.
Yeah, but
No.
honestly, people need to check that out because I was taken back. I'm like, yo, everything should be.
They've
Why
done a
can't-
great job.
If this was my pin, I'd be like, yo, India's sick, right? So
They've done a great
Yeah.
job. They wanted to make their pend a model pend.
and
And
a lot of the pins have followed suit because now
Yeah.
this whole interlocking thing where they're covering it comes from there, I guess. But
exactly. I
really,
know my
really
pend
cool
is trying to
story.
do it too.
So this
Yeah.
is a big W of the week.
Oh, your pin
Is,
hasn't done it. Mine has. So you guys. are
Sukhdeep
fine.
Singh Chakria.
Yeah.
So we got two Bhandars and then the W of the week. Let's go. I mean, actually, we had three, right? We had the politician, we had that Wheel of Fortune crew, and we had naked Cambridge guy.
And you got to be, if we're on there, you got to be there too, Doughboy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What?
There's dad
you're
bod, but
Bhandar-
you're
you're
like
Bhandar-
milk bag, man.
You're a Bhandar for the week for wearing that shirt. That's what you
Look,
get for wearing
I
that
need a
shirt.
clean.
For
I need a clean
choosing-
shirt for this. You guys said we're doing video now, so I actually have to put shirts on. Normally, I'd just be sitting here in a banana.
Yo, banana would have been better, bro.
Yeah.
You would have looked deezed.
No, I wouldn't
Show,
have.
show the guns.
I would have been like, my kids would see this video in like 5 years and just be like, "We're done." But
Yo, we need, once again, you got to tell everybody, we need a name. We're
yeah,
struggling.
I mean, I want a new name. I
To our-
like.
to our two loyal followers, can you please reach out to Shinda?
I liked
Given some
Samosa
words.
Politics, but then I felt it was very corny at the same time.
It is a bit cheesy.
It is. Let's decline that.
All right, so it's Hard Note.
Hmm.
I still do
It's
like
hard.
Much Ado About Nothing, and then I'm part of me's like, well, we just got to be the best Much Ado About Nothing podcast. But then we're going up against Shakespeare, right?
How about we just call
And
it
SEO?
Kushni? And that's what we do. We talk about nothing.
Kushni.
Kushni.
You know, so I have
Yeah.
this Indian Scotch whiskey at my
What's-
house.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
about it? You know the story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kushni.
So I
Because
have
everybody
this.
says Kushni.
Yeah. It's like it's his wife. She'd always ask her husband, "What are you drinking?" He keeps saying Kuchni, Kuchni. Turns out it's a bottle. It's an actual Scotch
Actual
bottle.
liquor. That's been labeled.
All right, well,
Kuchni is a good one.
I like that.
I feel like I could get behind that a little bit. You telling me it's a bottle of liquor kind of
No, but like
dissuades
it's the
me a
play
little
on
bit.
words, right? It's a play on
It is
words.
it is an interesting play on words.
How about
So-
Kush dash and I? There you go. People think we're a weed podcast when we're not.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, what are these guys on?
I thought these guys were talking about the Kush, but it's just three idiots.
All right, boys. You guys got anything else you want to plug?
Nah, fuck this. I need to recover. I need a bed and
Hmm.
NyQuil.
Just drug up. You need Feme. You need one of these.
Yeah.
You need one of these magical
Yeah,
tablets.
you need to call up your security boy. in
I
India.
need that Gali
That's what-
Nagani, right? That's what they call it.
That's what they call it, eh?
Yeah, Gali Nagani.
I don't know.
They're like fucking doing this shit. I'm like sitting in a chonk in Moga and I fucking see like 10 guys just doing this shit. I was like, what the fuck is going
Hold
on?
on. What is it that you're doing? You're just like,
They're just
massaging your
rolling it
hand?
into a ball. They're rolling their
Okay.
theme into a ball.
all right, you know a little too much about this now. It's kind of scared. Yeah, by all means, reach out to us. Feedback's always welcome. This was a bit of a longer episode, I think, than normal.
Oh yeah.
Felt like it. No? feel like Randy being sick and Robbie being I hate the world.
I was
Took a
hate the
bit of
world
time.
today. Oh, okay.
You were very buddy. Are you surprised? I'm like, buddy. You're like the world sucks. Get used to
think
it.
We're just, you know what? I think we're smarter than surprised. The three of us.
Oh man.
Like
Yeah,
to be
so
surprised. You know. Well, I'm not gonna talk. Whatever. It's done.
bitter. Go watch some Disney Channel, man.
Yeah, go be
Cheer
happy.
up. Watch
Get on
Encanto
the
or
elliptical.
something.
Go fuck yourself.
On that note, should listening. Say your outros. You guys aren't doing outros? Only me?
No, alright guys, peace.
Take care, man. Have a good week.
Peace.
Peace.